In this video, I am going to show you how you can write a simple Fibonacci generator program using JavaScript. First of all, what is a Fibonacci number? A Fibonacci number is a sequence that starts with 0 followed by 1, and the next value here is the sum of the previous two, which is 0 plus 1, which will give us 1 again. Then 1 plus 1 will give us 2. 2 plus 1 will give us 3. 3 plus 2 will give us 5. It follows this sequence till infinity. So we are going to write a program in which you will pass in any number, and then it will generate the Fibonacci sequence for that number. So well, first of all, we'll define a function using an arrow function. Let's say const Fibonacci, let's call it Fib generator. We'll set this equal to an arrow function which has a value in of n, which is the number that the user will pass in. Then here now we'll create a list which will say let sequence, that is the sequence, let's call it seq. We'll say this equal to a list that has 0 and 1 inside. Just as I've said earlier, I said the sequence always start with 0 and 1. Then the next values that are coming in is the sum of the previous two numbers. So first of all, we'll start it here with 0 and 1. Then down here, we'll write a for loop that we run. We'll say for let I, we use a variable I equals, since it is this, the next value we're expecting is 2, we say let I equals 2. Then we'll say I less than the value n, this value n that the user will pass in here. Then we'll say we'll increment the I each time that the loop runs. So we'll say I plus plus like this. So down here now, we'll say sequence. The sequence at the index of I that we're looping through, we'll set this equal to the sequence at the index of, let's say, I minus 1. Then we'll add this to the sequence at the index of I minus 2 like this. And then this is it. This is what actually happens here. We are saying the sequence at the index of I here, which is the next value here, the next index here, we have the index of 0, then the index of 1, then the next index that is coming in this list is going to be the index of 3. So it's going to be the index of 2, it's going to be 2 now. So we are saying that that index of 2 now, we are setting this equal to the sequence at that index of 2, which is that 2, we're subtracting 1 from that 2 now, then we are left with 1 here. Then we are adding it to the sequence at that same index, which is 2 minus 2. At this point, it will give us the next value here, which will be our next one here now. Then the second time that this loop will run, you will see that the value, the index here now, the index that we'll be expecting here will be, we have index of 0, we have index of 1, we have index of 2, then the next index will be 3. So now this I now here is 3. Then we are saying that 3 minus 1, then we are adding it to that 3 minus 2, which it will give us the value 3, this 3 here now, which will give us 0, 1, 2, 3, and that repeats like that until it gets to the value of this n, which this loop will now terminate. So we want that if it successfully assign all the values, all this value now, what we need to do now is the return of this function. We'll just say the function should return that sequence for us. So we'll just return the sequence here like this, and that is all we need to generate those Fibonacci sequence. It's as very simple as this. So down here now, we'll just let's just log it directly like this. We'll just console.log Fibonacci generator and then pass in the value 10 like this. And then let's go to our browser and then refresh this again. We'll see that it actually console.log 0 1 1, then this 1 plus 1 will give us this 2, then this 2 plus 1 will give us this 3, and then this 3 plus 2 will give us 5, 5 plus 3 will give us 8, and so on. So that is how you can generate. That is the one of the simplest way you can generate a Fibonacci number. So here now, if we pass in, let's say we pass in only 5, it will still give us the sequence. You see, it gives us 5 Fibonacci series like this. We have 0, we have 1, we have 1, then 2, then 3. Those are the 5 that I've given that is generated, which is actually accurate. And you can pass in any number. You're not restricted. You can pass in 50, 1,000, and it will still generate it for you using the same algorithm, which you see in this case we are passing 50, generate 50 Fibonacci numbers for, look at it here, 50 here. So in here we have 1, 2, like that, and so on. So guys, that is the simplest Fibonacci program you can write in JavaScript. This program is actually very simple but very educational. It will give you the If you understand this properly, it will grow your thinking ability and your problem solving skills. You understand If you actually understand what is going on here in this loop, it will give you the basics and the proper understanding of how the for loop operate in JavaScript. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this series, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and also give me a comment on how I can improve this function, or on how you can improve this function so that we will both learn. Thank you so much.